Welcome to Support Life, a program focusing on current social issues from a life-affirming perspective. I'm Gavin Baulch, and this week our guest is Jennifer Gury, the Executive Director of Diamond Pregnancy Support Centre. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, Gavin. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure indeed. Now, we've got a lot of insomniacs out there watching this show.
Oh, really?
Yes, so it's our duty to keep them wide awake.
I'll do my best.
Okay. So there are phrases out there in society like the butterfly effect.
Yes.
Okay, which is really another word for the consequences of choices we make.
That's true.
So keeping that in mind, how does that affect where you come from?
Well, I'm the Executive Director of a pregnancy centre in Sydney called Diamond Pregnancy Support.
Yes.
And every day we have women that are facing the butterfly effect of choices that they've made in the past, and then looking again at what choices they need to make and what the ongoing butterfly effect for those will be.
Okay. So let's have an example of who comes in and what takes place.
Okay, so we would have a woman that has just been abandoned by her partner. She's found out she's pregnant. She's petrified because all her support has left her and she has no idea what to do with her pregnancy. She's considering her options, one of those being aborting the baby, and is really in turmoil about it and wants to discuss what her options are and what the possible butterfly effect or consequences will be with that. So we inform her, we give her education and information about her choices, and then we support her of her choice, after she's made her decision, regardless of what that is.
Yes. Wonderful. So how long might you have a young woman or a woman in that position where it's an unexpected pregnancy? What's the timeline and follow-up? How short and how long can they be?
It's actually up to them. Our policy is we do 12 to 18 months, yes. So from the time that they see us. And often if it's later on in their pregnancy, then we will support them for 12 months after their pregnancy. If they decide to terminate, we will support them as well for as long as they want us to, and to the extent that they want. So sometimes they want a phone call once a week or once a fortnight. They may want to just drop in for coffee, and we're here for that as well. So, and again, for adoption, it looks totally different again.
So are your coffees as good as Melbourne coffees?
I'd like to say yes, but I don't think so at all. Not quite. Okay.
Now, I'm going to throw a three-letter word out there. B-E-N. Now, I believe this is a very important person in your life.
Oh, yes. I get emotional. That's my little 2-year-old.
So, tell me about him.
Well, he came into the world on the 28th of October in 2011 and completely turned my world upside down. He is wanted, he was planned, I was married, and yet I don't think I've ever been as traumatized in my whole life. He, just having a child is just one of the most traumatic and powerful and amazing things you could ever do. So for me, I thought, I'm educated, I have support, I'd be fine, but even then it threw me. So it gave me a whole new understanding and passion for the clients that we have come through our doors.
Well, that's wonderful. There's a lot we can thank Ben for.
Well, I never thought of it that way, but right. I guess that's true, yes.
Okay, so this little life that comes into the world causes a fresh perspective
Absolutely.
On what?
On what support is actually needed after one has a baby, what support's needed in the labour room, parenting, where it begins and ends, whose level of support, what does support look and feel like? Yes. For me, I didn't have, but I had a supportive partner, but I would have loved a nanny, for those moments where you really want to nap or at least make a cup of tea and sit down for 15 minutes, And so for us, that looked like when I came back, I'm like, okay, for when our clients have babies, we will have someone there in the house for a week, visiting them so the client can go have a shower, have a cup of tea, sit down, and we'll tidy the kitchen. That's one of the support things that we offer our clients now. Came out of my revelation of having Ben.
That's so exciting to hear, because us guys, we kind of have a nothing box upstairs. Have you noticed that? Like you say, no. Oh, sometimes we do. It's like, what are you thinking about? Oh, nothing. But you're thinking all the time. You're wired to think and process. And so, what have you found so wonderful about just being a woman?
About being a woman, there's so many things wonderful about being a woman, but I think being a mother changes all that, it takes it to a whole nother level. And so when we see our clients at Diamond, like, we understand that they are wonderful as a woman, but that they're also about to be a mother, you know, whether they go to full term or whether they don't. Either way, they're still a mother. But most importantly is we are passionate about not pitting the mother against a child, so supporting that woman and who she is right then and at that time.
All right, so am I right in my observation that a lot of comparing goes on in a woman's life? What happens now that this wonderful person called Ben?
Well, you know, Ben has made me see, like, even there's so many different thoughts and paradigms and theologies on parenting, and, you know, every mother wants to do the best for their child, but it's, you know, the first thing when they're newborn is, are they sleeping? And you go to mum's group and mine slept through the night and mine didn't, and mine was awake 3 times, you know, and you begin to question your own ability to parent, your own best interest for your own child. So, you know, it's important that women have confidence to make the right choices that they believe are the right for their child.
Yes. So what about strengths as a woman, and how do you find other women approaching their trimesters?
I think every woman has inner strength. Whether or not she believes that is a totally different matter, and whether or not someone has even championed that in her is a whole different matter. And I guess that's what we're passionate about at Diamond, is really championing the woman and helping her find her inner strength and building resilience and building an understanding that she is capable, she is going to be a great parent, and really championing that, you know. And so I think that's what you asked.
Okay, so this word resilience.
Yes.
So would you call this a sort of resilience informative education that you provide?
Yes, I would actually. I've never worded it like that, but I like that.
Okay.
I think information and education does make a woman resilient, you know, because it equips you with skills. It empowers you to make good choices. You know, when you have knowledge equals power, you know. And so I think when a woman finds that they are empowered with knowledge and information, their courage, their confidence builds, and a woman that's confident and with a lot of courage is strong, is resilient, is an amazing mother, you know.
Well, I thank you for that. This is Support Life, and we'll be back in a few moments with Jennifer. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch, and my guest is Jennifer Gury. Well, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, and it's not a proper word.
Okay.
Okay, but what's the funnest thing that's happened as a mum?
The funnest thing that's happened as a mum. Oh my goodness, I could tell you some funny stories, but I think they're a bit graphic for national television. I have a very spirited 2-year-old, so I don't know, I think my favourite thing of all time is when he grabs my face and like moves it where he wants me to look, and then sometimes he grabs it and comes in for an open mouth kiss, and it melts my heart every time.
That's wonderful.
And that's what keeps him alive.
So that puts a whole new meaning to the word suck face.
Yeah, it does. Yes. Or slobber, yeah.
Yeah, slobber. That's fine. So what about the funnest kind of moment with one of those who have visited Diamond Supports?
Oh, there's a couple. You know, it's always fun seeing a woman go from feeling defeated and like she's lost hope and her situation's completely impossible to coming in and actually smiling, bringing in to show off the baby that unbeknownst to it, you know, could have never ever happened, with absolute joy and gratitude and excitement, and start sharing stories about parties that are about to be planned. And we had one just recently, a client, she didn't take our call for a couple of weeks. We were a bit concerned. And just like called us, I'm so sorry, I got a job. Like, that is monumental for some of our clients, you know, to go from the point of hopelessness, despair, poverty, with parenthood, you know, forced upon them more or less, and then into like, I've got care, I'm supported, and I've been courageous enough to go for an interview and I got a job, is absolutely miraculous and monumental, and that is very fun. That is the funnest.
Okay. Now, there was a moment that was kind of a mini version of MasterChef.
this one client, she came in with biscuits to thank us, and we were always grateful for baked goods. And we were saying, oh, I love these. Where did you buy them? And she goes, no, I made them. And we were, vexing her for fibbing to us. And she's like, no, I really did. And we pushed her on the matter. And then she goes, no, my father was the chief of pastry for the king of the Philippines. That's how we got in the country. And we went, oh my gosh. And yes, they were perfect. They were immaculate.
Did you eat them?
A couple.
Or did you frame them?
No, a couple ate them, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, well then you enjoyed it. You shared in that moment
that
of joy.
was very fun, right. And it's just, small tokens of appreciation out of the oven. We call it lovin' from the oven, as always. So nice to see from our clients.
Well, that sounds a little bit like giving birth as joy.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about joy for a moment with clients. And this, you're building them up and they're finding these moments of inner strength. Talk about that a little bit.
When a client is faced with an unplanned pregnancy, everything around the pregnancy seems to be monumental. Finances become an issue. Relationships, either with parents or support people like relatives, and particularly the partner or the father of the baby, become an issue. It's just, so joy seems to have gone out the window. And it's our job as part of building hope and courage is to just bring joy back into her life. And I think hope does that, and that's what we provide.
Now, the strong woman.
Yes.
One of the things that's important is about embracing pain.
Yeah.
That's not a much talked about topic. Would you like to add to that?
I don't know about embracing. I don't know that anyone goes, yay, pain, childbirth, labour, awesome. But I think facing pain with a different attitude, I think, not necessarily embracing it, but embracing the fact that you're going to face it is probably more key. And for women, that's imperative, it builds resilience, Everyone knows that in life, tough times and good times are going to be part of their journey. But when you know that you're going to face a period of seemingly hardship, I think that's where joy is important. And I think knowing that you've got a support structure or there's people supporting you, give you back the joy that enables you to face those hardships and those times.
Let's introduce another word, humour.
Humour. It's part of the culture and DNA at Diamond, and it's essential. I think, if you can't laugh at some situations, you possibly will cry. And I think even in the most tragic of circumstances, sometimes, not the most tragic, but even in a lot of circumstances, particularly in the clients we face, we often bring in humour, and it just helps them shift the perspective a little. Sometimes you can become so downcast looking at your circumstances that you fail to look up and actually see that there may actually be a silver lining there. So it's good. That's why support people are important. It helps show that where the silver linings are.
How broad, again, is the support? Where do the support people come from at Diamond?
We have a really great range of supporters, and they come from people that are elderly in the way of knitted goods. They come from volunteers that donate a few hours of their time a week, people that are just passionate about supporting women and helping them make really positive choices. We talked about the butterfly effect and these choices. What choices did you make? Did I make in parenting?
Yes, well, in pregnancy.
In pregnancy, I chose to eat healthy. I chose to not listen to too many horror labour stories from other mums. I chose to believe that God had the best for my child, and that I wasn't going to worry about what he or she would look like or what the condition he or she would come in, but I would just trust that every child's a gift, and I was just going to run with that.
Jennifer, I dropped a few words on your lap, so I'm going to pick up the word tested.
Yes.
Apply that to your situation.
The women that we see come into Diamond are very tested. What I like about the word tested is that it's past tense, which means they have been. The thing is, when they walk into our office, we know they're about to be all over again. So our job is to show them that they were resilient once and that they can be again.
Do you have an example that stands out?
Sure. It's devastating when a partner leaves, and somehow our clients have got through that on several occasions, sometimes only once, but they've managed to go through and continue to pay their bills, continue to support their family, and then now they're about to do it again. And so we support them through that as well.
Jennifer, thanks for sharing all of that. You're watching Support Life, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch, and our guest is Jennifer Gury. Jennifer, we've covered a number of things that happen at Diamond Pregnancy Support Centre, and we've used words like resilience and inner strength. We've looked at the reality of the turmoil that you've been through when you have a child called Ben, like, oh, this is a different space. So for our viewers, how would you sum up your commitment to this work and some of those joys?
To sum it up, I would say I'm more passionate than ever and more committed than ever to seeing women find joy and resilience and their inner strength and learn that they are actually more capable than they think of achieving all and more than they think. I believe that within every woman is an unmistakable and clearly identifiable strength and stamina and resilience and fight that just needs to be cheered on and championed. I think cheering on and championing looks like support. I think it looks like someone to come alongside. I think it looks like practical help. I think it looks like the arms and feet of Jesus Christ. And we as an organisation and myself personally are more committed than ever to providing that kind of support in true Christ-like fashion, with true compassion, in excellence and professionalism in Sydney. Absolutely passionate.
Now, I would imagine just the way that you've answered that you have quite a nice little support group, just as passionate and with just as much compassion. How many are alongside you at the centre?
From board members to supporters to volunteers, there's probably, I haven't actually added them up, so somewhere between 20 and 50 people, that are really tight around us, and that doesn't include extra prayer support and donors and whatever else, but, those are the key people that keep us going.
And younger women?
Yes.
How are they involved, and what ages do you have them helping?
Anything over 21 really, yes. And some have really crafted skills and expertise, and others are just there just as a means of support and bring other gifts to the table. So, and anywhere up until the mid-50s, or anyone really, that has a heart for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's probably the most common thing that you find yourself saying to a woman who has this unexpected pregnancy and she's opened the door and she sits down with you? Where do you begin?
We start with why. I think pregnancy, people think pregnancy is the issue, whereas more often than not, it's not the pregnancy that's the issue, it's the peripherals around it. And I think when we speak to a woman and we ask the why and we get to her core values, what's really important to her, what's really troubling her with this pregnancy, we help her identify and work with those. And then, quite frequently, more often than not, the pregnancy is not the issue. She's happy to be a parent. She's happy to champion, the growing life inside her, but she just needed to identify what the problems were.
Now, what's the role of seeing the visual result of the scan through the trimesters?
The result?
The response to that image.
It's astounding. It's very beautiful. Most women usually burst into tears, or they're shocked, or they had no idea how far along they were, and so they thought they would see an embryonic sac, and what they're seeing, or a gestational sac, and what they're seeing is moving little limbs, arms, and a little child developing within their womb, and they're astounded. They had no idea, and so that's part of the information and referrals and support that we provide. And and we don't like our clients to get the ultrasound alone. No one should see their baby alone. They need someone to celebrate that with. Yes. So that's one of the things that we do.
So let's come back to the Diamond Pregnancy Centre again. Now, this support, So how many pop along to this moment where the ultrasound is taken?
How many people?
That. Yes,
oh,
yes.
Honestly, I don't have a count over the last 7 years we've been going, but in all of the times it's been most astounding. But my favourite more than the ultrasound is going in with them to give birth, you know, and being that support person, and when you actually see the fruition, you know, the months of working through their fears and planning for the future and allowing them to like find their inner resilience and strength and prepare accordingly and get prepared and trained and empowered, and then you see this life appear and how the mother, there's this instant bond. It's pretty powerful.
Wow. I get the feeling that us guys are missing out on something. If we roll up to the centre.
Yes.
Okay. And that must happen a lot. What do you say to the men?
I love the men that come into our centre. Now you'll get me started. I'm super passionate about them coming in. It takes a brave man to come in and speak to a complete stranger about a pregnancy and potential fatherhood. And we champion our men like they're absolute heroes, and we listen to all their concerns and fears with as much importance and significance as that of the mum, because they too are about to be a parent, and it's incredibly significant for them and their future. And no, we are huge fans and ambassadors, and we'll preach it till the day we come home, that the men that come in, you know, that are prepared to like at least ask the questions and come up with their form of strength to come alongside the woman, they're heroes, absolute heroes.
What are some of the fun things that guys sort of come out with?
Oh my goodness, you know, like embarrassingly, you know, when will we be able to have sex again, and what does this look like for me? How much is this going to cost? You know, quite common things, and it's fun. You know, you get to work it through. And what does fatherhood look like to them? You know, so often their role models of fathers has been a little bit left to be desired. You know, so we talk to them about fatherhood classes and go, there's actually, you know, really room for you to be the best dad that you could ever be. The father that you always wanted, but to your child.
You know, I thank you for that advice at the end, and I think I'm a little more encouraged that there's a space and a place for men to go and talk as well.
Absolutely.
And seeing that it's, you know, a partnership, it is a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yes.
It really is.
Well, Jennifer, I thank you for the time that we've had together today.
Thank you.
I've been enriched by it, and look forward to catching up at another time.
Wonderful.
You've been watching Support Life. Join us again next week. Goodbye.